Hello everyone, my name is Kaylee Hernandez and today I'll be talking about 3D printing. So, did you know you can 3D print an exact replica of any of your limbs for as low as $50? Yes, that is 3D printing. 3D printing has a net worth of $1 billion and has been increasing since the year of 2019 at a 19% rate. So what does that mean exactly? Well, with that amount of money being behind 3D printing, we are looking at printing organs using tissue as ink. This can possibly solve the organ shortage all around the world and in America. According to American Transplant Foundation, an article released on September 3rd, 2020, almost 114,000 people just in the United States are currently on a waiting list to receive a life-saving organ transplant. And every 10 minutes somebody is added to that list. And on average, 20 people die a day just in the United States of lack of organs. So as you can see, if we're able to print out organs with 3D printing, we could save thousands of people, not just in the United States, but all around the world. 3D printing can also be very cost effective. For example, regular limb prosthetic can cost you anything between $5,000 to $50,000. And that's just simply not the case for 3D printing. A 3D printed cast or a leg or limb can cost you as low as $50. According to a Limbless Solution, an article released on June 29, 2020, using myelitic arms that use muscle fibers in the remaining portion of the arm detected by leads attached to the skin, guide movement in the practice for these arms cost $1,000. That's a tenth of a $10,000 prosthetic arm. This makes prosthetics affordable for people all around the world, even in third world countries like Africa, where people can't afford hardly to eat, let alone a $10,000 arm or a $50,000 prosthetic leg. 3D printing makes it easier for people who donate money, for people who are in need, like who don't have arms or legs. Instead of spending $10,000 on one person, you spend $1,000, and that $10,000 goes towards 10 people, not just one. And that really does go a long way. Not only is 3D printing cost effective, but also very precise. You can get an exact custom limb, like an arm or a leg, or things like cartilage. This is very important for burn survivors because we are able to replicate, let's say they lose their nose. We are able to replicate their nose with 3D printing. Or let's say they lose their ear, for example. 3D printing can either fix it cosmetically or grow tissue and make their ear using the other ear as a reference. Or if they don't have their other ear, they could even use pictures. In some cases, they use pictures. And there's some victims, like people with brain tumors. There was this woman with a frontal brain tumor who lost all her right eye and her right temple, who recreated her face using her left side and was able to create all her right side of her face using 3D printing. And I mean, that's a big deal for anyone who loses their face because they don't feel like themselves, and 3D printing can, replicate their face. So you may be thinking to yourself, how exactly do they get such precise measurements? Well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is get an MRI or a CT scan. This allows the doctors to get the precise measurement, every millimeter of your face or every millimeter. Let's say you get a prosthetic and you have your arm is cut here. They measure everything very precisely and it basically fits like a glove. 3D printing can also help doctors with complex surgeries. So before a surgeon goes into surgery and does a surgery he's never done before, he can 3D print a model, do surgery on the model before going into the patient. And this increases the success rate in any surgeries. And that has been a very great milestone for any doctor in the medical field who does surgery. So basically a surgeon. 3D printing has not only been helping people, but also animals. Here we have a little duck who lost his leg and was able to get a 3D printed mold, an exact replica of his right leg. So now he could walk, he could eat, he could even swim. So he has his web feet back. And in this picture, we have a 3D printer, and he's printing out an ear. So it starts out very, very small from the bottom, and then it's printed out like this. This is what the tissue fibers look like. They're clear, and eventually they grow and they start to become pink once it's attached to your actual flesh. Here we have a jaw. This is a jaw prosthetic. This is for a patient who was in a car wreck, who lost all their bottom mandula. So basically they were able to recreate his exact jaw. And I mean, he's gonna look like himself after the surgery. And right here we have, of course, the prosthetic. That prosthetic costs $50 to make, which is pretty mind-blowing. So what's next for 3D printing? I think what's next for 3D printing is our kidneys, because kidneys are very complex organs and they're hard to, print out since they have so much functions to them. Like they filter out all the bad things in your body, any poisons basically, like alcohol or anything that you may digest. So as 3D printing technology improves, it will pave the path for personal healthcare and highly impact medical application. The future is bright. Thank you so much for your time.